How is everybody doing this morning? Folks, my name is Health Coach Troy. I live here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I have to tell you, the weather here is so beautiful. It's been kind of cool. It's been sprinkling. It was supposed to rain yesterday, but it didn't really rain all that much, which is crazy. Um, but I'm super excited to get on this morning and just take a few minutes of your time, right? I've got about 30 minutes and then I have to be somewhere, but I wanted to hop on and take a minute and talk about something that quite honestly is affecting over 90% of us. And here's the problem, okay? I'm talking about something called insulin resistance, and most people, they don't even know that they have it. Okay, how many of you have ever heard that word insulin resistance? Okay, if you will put yes or no in the chat, let me know if you've heard of it or if you don't know what insulin resistance is. Okay, because that'll help me to know kind of, you know, who my audience is. Okay, Nancy, thank you for joining. Ghost, thank you. Okay, so Deborah Cooper, let me ask you guys a question. Okay, do you know what insulin resistance is? Have you ever been told that you have it? Or have you never even heard of it? Okay. Feel free to put that in the chat. Okay. Because it helps me to know, number one, what people have heard before. And my hope and my prayer is to share something that can make an impact. Okay. That can help you to avoid some of the mistakes that I've made. So I am beyond grateful, first and foremost, to be in an environment where it helps me to know what insulin resistance is. And I absolutely love talking about this. I really wish that somebody would have shared this with me a long time ago. And most people don't know what insulin resistance is. And so, my hope and my prayer is that what I share with you, again, oops, I'm not sure. Aw. I had something on here and I didn't realize that I just unfortunately took this off. So let me put this back on. But as you guys tune into this live, if you wouldn't mind, let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Okay. I'm always curious. And I'm right here in Phoenix, Arizona. The weather is absolutely beautiful. So if you have ever thought about coming to Arizona before it's hot, I would encourage you to come when it's cooler, which is now. So I wouldn't wait till it's later. But folks, I'm so excited and blessed to get on today because I'm talking about something that's a very important topic. Okay, this is something that is affecting over 90% of us. Okay, and it's called insulin resistance. And most of us that are on this live right now have it, but we actually don't know that we have it. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to do something here. Okay, I'm not exactly sure who this is and their stupid comments. So we're going to remove them from this live. Amazing Arizona. Awesome. What part of Arizona are you in? North Carolina, but I lived in Vegas and yeah, I need to learn about this. Pinky Rasta, thank you so much for hopping on. Here's what I can tell you. Okay, folks, and some of you might know this, some of you might not. Okay. I donated a kidney back in November of 2014. Okay. And it was 7 years later when I was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney disease. And here's the problem. Okay. My dad passed away early. I have a brother who is 33 years old who passed away early. And I look at my 85-year-old mother. She lives in a memory care facility in Tennessee, and she's on a laundry list of medications. And folks, I don't go a day without coming in contact with somebody who is on one or two or a bunch of different medications. Folks, there's people that I know that have been on these meds for decades. We're talking 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years. There's a guy that I know that was on high blood pressure medication for over 47 years. I want you guys to understand something. Okay, our body is amazing, right? And whether you believe this or not, I believe this. I believe that our body, is designed in God's image, and our body is amazing. It's powerful, and our body actually has the ability to, improve insulin sensitivity. Okay, and that's my goal, is to share something that can help you to avoid the mistakes that I've made, right? Our bodies are amazing, and our bodies can heal itself. It can, improve, but we've just got to give it the right tools. And if you're struggling with your health, or somebody struggling with this, with their health, right? This might be the most important conversation that they have. Okay. And so I'm not sure why somebody's, okay. I'm going to go ahead and block you. Thank you. That was easy. And so what I eventually learned was something called insulin resistance. Okay. This is something that unfortunately affects 93% of us. And unfortunately, it's a metabolic condition that is incredibly common now. Polar Bear, thank you so much. Okay. Antonio, thank you for being on. Okay. And if you've never heard of insulin resistance, okay, it is associated with things like weight gain, weight struggles, blood sugar issues, hormone issues, okay, cardiovascular disease. How many of you know somebody that's had a heart attack or stroke? Okay. How many of you know somebody who has diabetes? Okay. Diabetes is caused by insulin resistance. Okay. Now, Stephen is asking, is insulin bad? I mean, insulin's definitely not your friend. Insulin, here's the thing. Every time you and I eat food, it causes your blood sugar to go up. Okay. And when your blood sugar goes up, your pancreas sees that. And so what it does is it secretes a hormone called insulin. Okay. Insulin is a FAT storing hormone. It is what causes the weight gain. It's what causes your love handles to gain. Okay. It causes everything to grow. And so really, Stephen, there's only two stages of our lives where we actually want to be insulin resistant, right? And that's puberty and pregnancy, because this is when you're wanting that insulin to cause it to grow, right? It helps to grow. But outside of that, too much insulin in the body becomes a major problem. Because if you have an excess amount of insulin, right, it's got to get stored somewhere, right? And so it does. It gets stored in your liver. This is why we develop liver disease. It gets stored in your blood vessels, right? We develop blood pressure, cholesterol issues. Okay. It gets stored in your joints. This is why people have arthritis. Too much sugar in the brain of an adult leads to Alzheimer's and dementia. Too much sugar in the brain of a child, right? ADHD. And here's something that surprised me. When people go to the doctor and your cholesterol is elevated, medication is often discussed first, right? How many of you have noticed that? When you go to a doctor, how many of you notice that the conversation leads to medications first? You guys realize that there's millions and millions of people that are on medications. And for many people, they're helpful and maybe necessary, right? And I encourage everyone to continue to work with your healthcare professional, right? But what most people aren't told is that nutrition and lifestyle, metabolic health play a major role in this too. And hey, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Okay. And the Daily Flow Company, right? Thank you for sharing that. Right? When you go to your doctor and your cholesterol is elevated, okay, most of you, I would imagine, are probably on something called metformin or even a statin, right? These are things that people are constantly on. Now, Pinky Rasta, I want to share this picture. Okay. This happens to be a type 1 diabetic. This will actually is pretty amazing. I want to show you this. Okay. I can't make this up. Okay. So I'm going to share this with you. This is actually a type 1 diabetic. Look at this. In 66 days, decreased insulin, and that's key, right? But look at the next part. Completely off of blood pressure meds after 47 plus years of high blood pressure. Okay. Their A1C went down, but here's the reality, folks. At the end of the day, a lot of the medications that people are on come with a lot of side effects. Okay. Now they don't necessarily tell you that because why would they tell you, right? They just tell you, well, you might have them, you might not. But the reality is that the side effects, okay, what do you do when nothing works to lose weight? So the Daily Flow Company, okay, I don't know if you noticed this, but you can hear pinned at the bottom is called the Feel Great System. Okay? This is exactly why I talk about the Feel Great System. Because when I was told 7 years after I donated my kidney to my brother-in-law, I was told that I had stage 4 kidney disease. Guys, I was in my 30s. I couldn't lose weight. I could not lose weight to save my life, right? Even in my 40s. And some of us just chalk it up that we're getting older, okay? So when I was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney disease, my doctor gave me this. Some of you may or may not have been on something called Ozempic, okay? I call it Ozempic, okay? All it did was make me sick. So I had to stop taking it because it wasn't helping me. And it was 2.5 years later when a friend of mine, who's a former rocket scientist, reached out and said, hey, you need to look into this. And here's why I decided to order it. I decided to order it because it came with a 90-day money-back guarantee. So I knew that if it didn't work, I knew I could get my money back. Folks, I've seen what medications do to people. I've seen what it does to my dad. My dad passed away from something that could have been prevented. I look at my mom. She's on a laundry list of medications. And we have a solution to a really big problem. And this is why I share this, because at the end of the day, folks, I want you guys to understand what you can do to improve your health. It doesn't need the need for meds or diets. Okay. What I'm sipping on happens to be a natural metformin. It's a natural Ozempic. It's why this is listed in the TikTok shop, right? Right below here. I have it pinned here. Okay. Right there. Okay. What I love about it is that you can try it. And if it doesn't work, you just get your money back. So far too often, we're just throwing medications at our symptoms, but it doesn't fix the root cause. We've got to address the root cause, right? If you've got weeds and you just cut the top off those weeds are going to continue to grow. We've got to treat it at the root. We got to fix the root. We got to tear it out. It's no different than a fire. In fact, I want you to think of insulin resistance like a fire that is burning out of control in your body. Think about a fire, okay? How many of you love to surround a fire? We roast marshmallows, we make s'mores, right? How many of you have stood around a fire? And you notice that the smoke, okay? I want you to think of the symptoms that you have, whether it's diabetes, whether it's blood pressure, cholesterol, whether it's high triglycerides, whether it's neuropathy or sleep apnea. How many of you sleep with a CPAP machine? How many of you struggle to breathe at night? How many of you are waking up multiple times to go to the bathroom? All of that are symptoms of insulin resistance. That is the smoke to your fire. Now, folks, if we're going to put a fire out, we've got to put the fire out, right? You're taking water and dirt and anything that you can to extinguish the fire. Okay. The problem is when we're just treating our symptoms with medications, all we're doing is we're taking water and we're sprinkling it on the smoke. Well, sprinkling water on the smoke is going to do nothing for you. It's not going to put the fire out. And that's typically what we do is we wave a wand at our symptoms and we never fix the root cause. And Lynn Allen, right? I have a colleague of mine. Look at this. He had neuropathy. He decreased his neuropathy by 80%. It's incredible. Neuropathy is painful, right? It can be the sharp tingling sensation throughout your body. I can't imagine what that would feel like. I don't want to know what that feels like. But Jeff here was a diabetic for over 20 years. And within 4.5 months of using the Feel Great system that I have pinned here, folks, this is why this works. How many of you know what the physician's desk reference? And Gary, appreciate you, brother. How many of you have ever heard of the PDR.net, the physician's desk reference? This is what doctors use when they're prescribing medications. And the Feel Great system that's pinned here in the TikTok shop is actually listed in the physician's desk reference. It's not a drug. It's not a medication. It's made from plants and food. Folks, the medications that you have, like, it's beyond amazing how many ingredients are in those and the chemicals that are in those. Now, I'm not trying to convince any of you to order this product, right? You know what you've tried so far. You know what works and what hasn't worked, okay? You've got to make that determination. And, you know, if you want, work with your healthcare professional, okay? But I want you guys to understand that this is absolutely amazing, okay? I think that's, I love me. I have no idea what you're referring to, human flesh. None of the products that we have are made from human flesh, okay? So I'm not sure what you're referring to, but you know, the tea that I'm sipping on is a yerba mate plant that's grown in South America, right? Argentina, Brazil, okay? And if any of you have ever followed Dr. Andrew Huberman, okay, you know, I'm not sure who you are. You are absolutely crazy. It's the crazy people come on these lives. It's so interesting. I'm talking about insulin resistance. Somebody wants to come on my live and talking about the Epstein files. I don't care about the Epstein files. Okay. I'm talking about metabolic health. Okay. And that's what I want to share. Okay. Folks, I love getting on here and sharing this because at the end of the day, right? Folks, here's the part that nobody wants to tell you. This is the truth. When you go to a doctor, what do? They diagnose and treat your symptoms. And I just want you guys to understand something. I am not anti-doctor. I am not even anti-medicine. I am anti-ignoring the root cause. What I am tired of is when they're not helping you to understand what's causing your high A1C. What is causing your blood pressure? What is causing your cholesterol issues to be high? How many of you eat 3 meals a day or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7? How many of you, are snacking all day? And you go to the doctor and you're like, I don't know what's wrong. So your doctor just slaps on more medications, right? How many of us are starting our day with the most important meal of the day that was brought to you by this company, right? How many of you eat loops of fruit, right? Or Cocoa Puffs, right? Folks, I used to eat this. I used to eat 3, 4, 5 meals a day because I thought that's what we were taught to do. Folks, I had stage 4 kidney disease. My doctor said if I didn't make changes that I was going to end up on dialysis. I've never been on dialysis. Within 5 months of using a simple tool that's listed here, you can try it, folks. And here's the best part. If you try it and you don't like it, you can cancel and get your money back. You literally lose nothing. And Lynn, I only eat 1 to 2 meals a day. And most of those days, I'm only having 1 meal. Your body actually doesn't need these multiple meals. Your body actually works better when you're not eating all these meals, right? How many of you have ever eaten a meal and 20 or 30 minutes later, you're tired or you're hungry, right? How many of you have just finished a meal and you're already thinking about your next snack or the next treat or the next meal that you're going to have? And so when my friend reached out to me and she shared this with me, I'll be honest, I didn't think it was going to work. In fact, when I ordered this, okay, I literally put on my calendar day 87. I'm calling the company and I'm going to cancel this and get all of my money back. But within a month and a half of sipping this, it tastes amazing, by the way. Even kids love the taste. When I started sipping on this, okay, within a month and a half, I lost 32 pounds. I had migraine headaches for 23 years that went away, okay, in the first week, okay? My acid reflux, the brain fog, okay? All of these things went away. And I started to improve my health in ways that even doctors were like, what are you doing? In fact, after 5 months of being on this, I went back to my nephrologist. My kidney doctor says, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. So if a doctor says, keep doing this, do you think I'm not going to share this with other people? And Renee, thank you so much for being on. Folks, I'm on a mission to help millions of families understand what insulin resistance is, and most importantly, connect the dots to the health issues that they're having. Folks, I think it's important for you to understand what's causing all of these things, why your body reacts, okay? And most importantly, what you can do to fix it. Yoga pants, okay? There is a, oh, what happened to this? There is a 25% discount, okay? That is in here, okay? Let me actually put this back. And folks, if you guys have questions, you are welcome to go here or message me. Let me put this, sorry. So there is a discount that will take 25% off, but that is for just 1 month. Okay, the $245, the discount will actually lower it below $200. That is just for 1 month's supply. Okay, and folks, if you decide to order this, okay, I'm going to coach you. I'm going to mentor you on how to utilize this. I'm going to make sure that you're getting the most out of this. But I'm going to show you moving forward, month 2, month 3, how you can get this lower. Okay, when we have this in the TikTok shop, okay, we have it in there and it's priced. TikTok has to get their share, unfortunately. Okay, Peters, thank you for the follow. But the $245 is before you take off the 25% discount. Okay, once that comes off, folks, just try it. Okay, this is an absolute godsend. Okay, and here's the point that I want to make. Okay, at the end of the day, I want you to understand what insulin resistance is. Okay, and Lynn, I totally get where you're coming from, and here's the idea of this system. Okay, and I want you guys to think about something. Okay, if you think getting healthy is expensive, just wait till you're sick. Okay, many of us, and let me ask you this, Lynn, how many meals do you eat, and how often do you snack, and do you have coffee every day? Just out of curiosity, what does your day look like? How many meals are you having? Okay. I've had a lot of people that have told me that it's expensive. Okay. And then, they completely tell me later that they're saving far more than what they're spending. Okay. When you skip a meal, folks, you can't buy a meal today for less than $5. Okay. And so, and Lynn Allen, awesome. Okay, you eat 1 meal. I don't drink nothing but water. Okay, and what are the health issues that you have, and how long have you had it? Okay, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Sometimes we've got to make some changes. Okay, yeah, let me put this in here. Okay, I'm going to add another one. Okay. Oops, hold on a second. Okay. So this is it. So let me put this in here. Okay. So, and I pinned this comment. Okay. So when you're checking out of um, the protocol, okay, the Feel Great system, okay, put in the promo code FEELGTROY, and that'll take the 25% off. Okay. So it's about $5 a day. Guys, here's what I'm telling you. Just try it for 90 days or 30 days. Just try it for 1 month. Okay. If you don't notice a difference in the way that you feel, in your energy levels, the way you're sleeping, okay, the migraines, the brain fog, okay, if you're not noticing a difference, um, just cancel, right? There's no reason why you have to continue to use this. This is, you get to determine how long and how, you know, you can be on it for as long as you want. What I encourage people is to do it for at least 90 days, because sometimes it might take your body that long to start really noticing some changes. Now, the majority of people, it doesn't take that long. Okay. And for those of you, okay, feel free to message me. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. But that is a way to contact me. Okay. And if you have more questions, send me your questions. Okay. And actually, hold on one second. Let me do this. Okay. This is the easier one. Okay. This is the one that I use. I'm not sure why I was putting that. And folks, I'm going to get on here earlier or later and do another room. Mickey, it's two. So when you put in the discount, it'll be below $200, and that is just for 1 month supply. Okay. And I've pinned the discount code. Okay. As you click on the TikTok shop and you're checking out, that's what you want to put, is that FEELGTROY. It's all capitalized. Okay. So make sure that it's capitalized. Okay. And I've also added here. So if you guys, I'm here in the United States. Okay. Lynn Allen, I get on here every single day. So make sure to save and follow this. Absolutely. But yes, I get on here every single day and would be more than happy to help. I'll spend a little bit more time tomorrow on being on a live tomorrow morning. I'll spend a little bit more time. I unfortunately have to run in about 5 minutes, but I didn't want to not get on here this morning and at least just let you know, this is what I do every single day. I love teaching. I love empowering. The most important thing that I love is sharing something that can make a difference in your life. I wish that I knew this information 21 years ago. Maybe my dad and my brother was 33 years old when he passed away, and maybe he would still be here. Okay. But we can't always rely on the past, right? We've got to, I can control what I can control. Does that make sense? What I can tell you, folks, is our bodies are amazing. Okay. And if we give our bodies the right tools, becoming insulin sensitive again is not a hard thing. Okay. When we give our body the tools that it needs, your body can rejuvenate, right? Fasting and fiber are the two things that I teach people. I teach people how to go longer periods of time without maybe putting food in their mouth or sugar or calories or, you know, and what you're doing is you're just allowing your body to go longer periods of time without having a glucose spike. And when you're not having a glucose spike, you are avoiding the insulin spike that comes as a result of it. Okay. And so when you do that, it's so powerful when it helps your body to heal in the way that your body has the ability to do so. Okay. Your body is magic. Okay. And continue to work with your healthcare professional. But if you are looking for a alternative to maybe what you've been doing, okay, this is why I teach and talk about the Feel Great system that's pinned here in the TikTok shop. Okay. It works. It's amazing. What it can do for you is beyond amazing. And this is again why I share this with people, because again, I think it's important for people to know what they can do to start maybe making some changes, right? Because maybe what they're doing isn't working so far. But what I can tell you is 5 months of being on the Feel Great system, when I went back to my kidney doctor and my kidney doctor is saying, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it, that changed everything for me. Okay. So yes, yoga pants. So if you're ordering it from the TikTok shop, yes. Yep, they give you a guarantee as well. Okay. It's a 30-day guarantee, okay, on the TikTok shop. Okay. But and when you do that, when you order it the first time, okay, you're going to be connected to me. Okay. I'm going to be your coach. Okay. What I'm going to do after that is, if you decide to use it moving forward, okay, then I'm going to help you to, save you even a little bit more. Okay. And then that'll come with a 90-day money back guarantee. Okay. Thank you to everyone who's been hopping on this live. I've got just 2 more minutes before, unfortunately, I have to jump. I'm going to an event, which is why I'm dressed up. And I got on here much later than I wanted to, but folks, I love getting on here. If you guys have any questions, you're welcome to just send me a message here. I'm happy to, I'll communicate with anyone who is wanting to learn, okay? I do want to let you know, though, I don't work with everyone, okay? And what I say by that is if you are looking for just a quick fix, I'm not your guy. But if you are looking to improve your health, if you are looking to, maybe get off the meds, maybe you've been on it for a long time, maybe the meds are making you sick, and it's not working as effectively as you thought it was. Okay, what if this could be the game changer that you're looking for, right? So, but absolutely, okay? And if you're not interested, okay, and you've got questions, feel free to send me a text. Happy to communicate with you guys, okay? Guys, God bless you. Thank you so much for being on this live this morning. I hope you guys have an amazing Valentine's